There's a number of challenges we all know here with Cork's existing transport network. From the offset, we've got land use patterns over decades that promote car-based travel and car dependency. We've widespread traffic congestion. We've low public transport usage, relatively low public transport, though improving. Poor walking and cycling conditions and levels in parts of the city region. And generally, it's transport network. If that population growth was suddenly to appear, we wouldn't be able to accommodate it because the city would grind to a halt. CMETS is a multimodal transport strategy. It's integrated with land use, and that's vitally important. We've generally followed where the city and county council have said growth is going to happen in the future. It's aligned with planning policy. As part of that, we'll have bus connects, light rail, suburban rail, walking, obviously improvement walking cycle networks, so roads, strategic multimodal roads. Any new roads that will be built in the future will have to support public transport, walking and cycling. We're looking at a significant increase in the quality of buses and the provision, the reliability and accessibility. We'll also be moving to cashless fares and account-based ticketing. It's in the National Development Plan. And this is quite a comprehensive, bus network, and it shows more or less this matches the demand for transport where the population will grow. I would think virtually most towns and villages in the metropolitan area is covered, and with substantial increase in those services. Suburban rail, you've seen the NDP, it's, what's promised is enhancements to, we already have a rail network. What we'll be looking to do is sweat the asset, make it more sustainable and more viable. So we're looking at enhancements to the rail service, including new stations and digital fleet. Light rail transit, essentially we were asked to for the main east-west corridor, would it be a bus rapid transit or would it be light rail transit? And the answer from the modelling is light rail. And the light rail is to serve the increased population growth along that corridor. In the interim, before that's the place, we're looking at running a high frequency, I suppose the 10 minutes or less east-west, more or less following that route from Ballincollig to Mahon, and finally the realisation of the light rail. The intention obviously is to intercept traffic before it comes into the city centre, and you can see a number of park and rides that align with areas just outside the national road network that will intercept the traffic, but will be served by light rail bus connects. I should add walking and cycling networks into this slide as well, because certainly even some of the existing ones like Black Ash could do with the connections need to be improved. Strategy adopted by both Cork City and County Council 2 years ago. It's quite comprehensive. We've looked at the demand in the period up to 2014. We've added some additional routes to that, including a new greenway, and obviously the east-west Lead to Sea route is included in CMATs. Again, Cork City Council have a walking strategy which was just expired as per the time frame last year. It was a pretty good strategy. So we've taken that as a starting base for the city, and we've built on that. I think we can all appreciate that the walking network, irrespective of your ability, isn't fit for purpose in a lot of areas across the city and metropolitan area. There's footpaths missing. There's lack drop curbs, a variety of issues. Cars parked on pavements. What the strategy advocates, obviously a significant kind of increase in quality of the public realm, safer routes to school, and also connectivity with the proposed bus, rail and light rail network. But what we're really looking at is for Kent Station to be, maybe the key interchange point in Cork between light rail, bus, and obviously suburban rail and national rail. That will require a new bridge across the Lee, roughly where the exit is Kent Station, and over to support growth in the Dockland City Docks. Benefits, I suppose, overall of the CMATs is, it'll provide Cork with state-of-the-art public transport system, which we haven't had to date, be fully integrated transport network, and it will enable Cork to grow in line with the vision, the kind of challenge set down by government and the MPF and the NDP. for the city to be a dynamic, connected, internationally competitive city, and to be the economic engine for the southern region and forefront of climate action.
One of the main benefits in the short term, which the CMATs will deliver, is, I suppose, a context for the prioritisation of investment in sustainable transport interventions. We've had a programme in place for the last 5 or 6 years, which has been quite effective with relatively small budgets in delivering meaningful improvements to the sustainable transport offer. Again, it's going back to the draft strategy, which, as Kevin was saying, we would hope will be completed as a process by the end of the year, and will inform, of course, not only the RESIS Cork Metropolitan Area Strategic Plan, but also, following on from that, the development plan review process. So you'll have this integrated land use and transport strategy informing the statutory planning process.
We're considering those responses to inform the final document. Again, I stress this, it will need to be in alignment with the MASP and the RESIS, again, which is due in the next few weeks. And the final document is intended, I suppose, the final quarter of this year. So that's me really, but I suppose that's the vision. It will deliver, an accessible, integrated network that enables sustainable growth of the Cork Metropolitan area as a connected, international, competitive European city region. Okay.